If we were to ask you to name an old money American dynasty that still has power today, it's likely your mind would quickly jump to household names like Rockefeller, Morgan, or Carnegie. And indeed, who would blame you? Those iconic families have their legacy embossed in our very memories with towering skyscrapers like Rockefeller Center, legendary concert venues such as Carnegie Hall, and banking giants like J.P. Morgan Chase still in operation today. However, what if we were to tell you that there is one old money family still pulling the strings of global finance behind the curtain, who is many billions of dollars richer than any Rockefeller, Morgan, or Carnegie living today? Indeed, the Mellon family of Pennsylvania has not only been in power as long as any Gilded Age robber baron, but their living descendants have maintained more wealth than almost any old money family featured on this channel, boasting a staggering fortune currently estimated at an eye-watering $12 billion. Furthermore, Mellon family members have had their hands in every stratum of American influence, from their patriarch, whose decisions as U.S. Treasury Secretary led America to experience both the Roaring Twenties and the Great Depression, all the way to the current BNY Mellon Bank, donning the family's surname, which presides over literally trillions of dollars in assets to this very day. Most assuredly, the Mellon family has it all, from a matriarch who changed the face of American interior design with her many lavish homes and sumptuous estates, to a cryptocurrency whiz-kid who's been quietly counting billions as US government regulators scramble to decide how to handle crypto. In today's episode, we'll tell you this secret old money banking dynasty's full, unauthorized journey, revealing a legacy that has quietly shaped the very backbone of American wealth and influence, as we describe. The Mellons, the secret old money family, richer than the Rockefellers. Scratching near the top of the elite scoreboard of America's richest families, the Mellon family are a little mentioned but a captivatingly formidable force. Think of them as a sleeper team in the Super Bowl of American old money affluence. And with a jaw-dropping $12 billion to their name, their bank account is as deep as it is old. And in this legendary luxury lineup, patriarch Christopher Mellon assumes the role of quarterback. Born on the 2nd of October 1957, Christopher's more than just a typical team captain. His career resembles a complex jigsaw puzzle, blending elements of high finance and secretive government roles with an unexpected twist. His involvement in UFO advocacy adds a layer of mystery. And the overall Mellon family tree, while not quite a household name like Rockefeller or Kennedy, is as intricately woven and powerful as a hidden masterpiece in an exclusive art gallery. Indeed, Christopher's lineage is a discreet yet powerful roll call of American industrial and banking leaders. At the root of this quietly influential family tree stands Thomas Mellon, the original architect of Mellon Bank, an institution that, like its founders, has played an incomparably important yet little-known role in shaping America's financial horizon. This legacy continues robustly with BNY Mellon, the evolutionary successor of Mellon Bank and the family's banking empire. Today, BNY Mellon stands as a titan in the financial world, showcasing its prowess with a remarkable 22% surge in net income and stewarding a staggering $46.9 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, in assets under custody. In short, that ranks the Mellon family's brainchild banking empire as the 13th largest bank in the United States, all while managing to be ranked among the world's most admired companies, according to Fortune magazine, in 2023. However, the Mellons, not content with banking alone, have played a game of twister with various industries. They struck black gold when they helped create Gulf Oil, which eventually became household name gas behemoth Chevron in the 1980s, and in the steel sector, they clanged swords with giants, backing Union Steel before it was scooped up by Andrew Carnegie and US Steel. But, as with any truly impressive old money dynasty, their empire didn't stop there. Their investment portfolio reads like an Oscar nominee list for America's most iconic companies, including Westinghouse Electric, Newsweek, and General Motors. But it's not all about the greenbacks. For decades, the Mellon family has also engaged in land conservation efforts. The Richard King Mellon Foundation has notably contributed over 100,000 acres to wildlife refugees. And in real estate, the Mellons are more than just casual players. From the 700-acre Virginia Mellon estate to Oak Spring Farms, a 4,000-acre expanse that was Bunny Mellon's personal Eden, they've got the Midas touch in property. And let's not overlook that 27-acre slice of Antiguan paradise, a real estate jewel in the Mellon crown. Additionally, in the political arena, family member Timothy Mellon doesn't just donate, he makes waves. His $5 million contributions to various political causes and an eye-watering $90 million to Republican campaigns since 2018 show he's not shy about backing his beliefs with his wallet. However, while it's easy to sit and bask in the shocking power, wealth and influence of this $12 billion old money leviathan known as the Mellon family, you'd be surprised to learn that they first got their start, like so many Americans, as immigrants to the country's shores centuries ago. Therefore, join us as we venture back in time to discover exactly how one Irish immigrant reached the land of the free and the home of the brave, to spawn what would become one of America's richest families of all time. The Mellons family's story begins in the 19th century, a time of significant migration, with the Mellons originating from Scotland and later settling in Tyrone, Ireland. The Gaelic origins of their surname, derived from Meal and Mealan, translated to attractive or little pleasant one, offer a glimpse into the family's heritage. You see, during this period, County Tyrone, located in the northern part of Ireland in the region of Ulster, was a key area for Scottish Protestant settlers. This migration was part of the Ulster Plantation, a process in which the British government settled Scots in Ireland to establish control over the rebellious Irish provinces. One Archibald Mellon, part of this Scottish Protestant group known as the Scotch-Irish, began the family's American story in 1816, with many Scotch-Irish like the Mellons emigrating to the United States during this time. First establishing themselves in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, the family's legacy would begin in earnest when, in 1818, Thomas Mellon, the future founder of Mellon Bank and first patriarch of the Mellon dynasty, entered the United States. Determined to rise above the constraints of his rural beginnings, Thomas Mellon's life was a journey of ambition and aspiration. He vividly recalls in his autobiography the moment at the age of 10 when he first glimpsed wealth and magnificence I had before no conception of, a revelation that came upon seeing the opulent estate of his future parents-in-law, Jacob Negley and Barbara Ann Negley. Then, inspired at 14 after reading the transformative stories of Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, Mellon resolved to leave farming behind. Pursuing higher education, he entered the University of Pittsburgh, then the Western University of Pennsylvania, in October 1834, and graduated in 1837. After dedicating 5 years and investing $500 in his education, Mellon turned to teaching classics briefly before successfully entering the legal profession. He then established his own law firm before subsequently being elected as a judge for the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Thus, Thomas Mellon's legal acumen not only enhanced his personal wealth through astute investments in downtown real estate, but also positioned him as a reputable attorney for corporations. Indeed, Mellon's early legal successes were the bedrock of the family's financial empire. His investments in law and real estate were instrumental in the establishment of T. Mellon & Sons, a banking house that emerged as the region's largest by the end of the 19th century. Beyond real estate, Mellon also ventured into coal, forming a profitable alliance with James B. Corey, a significant figure in the Pittsburgh coal industry. This diversification into real estate and coal was pivotal in his wealth accumulation, and by 1869, Thomas Mellon had yet again pivoted from legal practice to concentrate on his investments. Therefore, his banking house, T. Mellon & Sons, had shrewdly laid the groundwork for what would later become the Mellon Financial Corporation. But Thomas Mellon's prolific ability to adapt and seize new opportunities was but a blip on the radar of what his descendants would be able to accomplish. And on a brisk spring day in March 1855, Thomas's son, Andrew, would enter into the world to fulfill that destiny. Andrew William Mellon, affectionately known as A.W., was the 6th child born to Thomas and Sarah Jane Mellon, yet, tragically, only the 4th to survive past infancy. And from his earliest years, Andrew's life was deeply intertwined with that of his father. Distrustful of both private and public educational institutions, Thomas Mellon took it upon himself to construct a schoolhouse specifically for his children, appointing a private tutor to oversee their education. Thus, starting at age 5, Andrew was educated in this unique setting, and this tailor-made educational experience, combined with a front-row seat to his father's financial expertise, undoubtedly helped set the foundation for Andrew's future success in banking and finance. Now, the 1870s saw Andrew furthering his academic pursuits at his father's alma mater, Western University of Pennsylvania, now known as the University of Pittsburgh. However, in a twist of fate, Andrew departed without a degree, opting instead for the rich lessons of practical experience. Then, in 1873, at only 18 years of age, Andrew took a decisive step into the world of banking by joining his father's bank, T. Mellon and Sons. Despite his youth, he swiftly emerged as a key player, exhibiting a sharp acumen for banking and finance. And his formative years at the bank, including witnessing the economic maelstrom of the Panic of 1873, had undoubtedly sharpened his economic insight and banking strategy. But the year 1876 marked one of the most pivotal moments in Andrew's trajectory, as he was granted power of attorney to steer the bank's operations. With this power, over time, Andrew would develop what would be called the Mellon system of business. Indeed, this was more than a mere strategy. It became a comprehensive approach to creating a robust industrial empire. This Mellon system involved meticulously crafting a network of interconnected enterprises, each supporting and enhancing the others. For instance, their banking interests provided financial backing to their industrial ventures, such as the aluminum and oil industries, while their real estate investments offered physical and infrastructural support. Indeed, this visionary approach was instrumental in the formation of major corporations such as the Aluminum Company of America, Gulf Oil Corporation, and Union Steel, which eventually merged with United States Steel Corporation. Now, in the same year that Thomas Mellon gave his son Andrew the power of attorney over the bank, 1876, Thomas introduced his son to Henry Clay Frick, marking a significant collaboration in American industrial history. Frick, a key figure in the burgeoning steel industry, was establishing the Frick family empire, a monumental force in the industrialization of the United States. His involvement in the coke and steel industries, pivotal for the era's rapid industrial growth, made Frick an invaluable ally for the Mellons. And by 1887, Andrew's brother, Richard B. Mellon, had also joined as co-owner and vice president, further consolidating family control over the business. Now, during the 1880s, Andrew Mellon, in collaboration with Frick, took control of the Pittsburgh National Bank of Commerce. Indeed, this was a significant power play for the family, as national banks held the exclusive right to issue banknotes, a crucial financial tool for empires like the Mellons. Specifically, issuing banknotes allowed them direct influence over the money supply and credit availability, vital components in an era of rapid economic expansion and industrialization. Furthermore, despite the considerable asset transfer from Thomas to Andrew Mellon, their enterprises remained relatively small, leading to what we would call these days a lean startup configuration in the Mellons' empire. Therefore, though T. Mellon and Sons employed just 7 individuals in 1895, this small scale suggested a strategic choice, prioritizing meticulous control over rapid expansion, laying a solid foundation for future growth. However, Andrew Mellon's immense influence was, much like many family members, not limited to business acumen. Founded in 1913 by Andrew and his brother Richard B. Mellon, the Mellon Institute stood as a symbol of innovation in scientific research. You see, the Mellon brothers, beyond their roles as bankers and venture capitalists, were foresighted in understanding the synergy between new technologies and established industries, and thus their aspiration to establish a groundbreaking research center materialized in this institute. Now, during the same period, another educational giant was taking shape. The Carnegie Institute of Technology, inaugurated in 1900 by legendary industrialist and one-time richest person in the world, Andrew Carnegie, aimed to mirror the Scottish model of technical education, catering to the needs of an industrializing society, and this particular school, initially serving the educational requirements of working-class children, evolved into a vital center for practical education, later becoming the Carnegie Institute of Technology, or Carnegie Tech. The paths of these two institutions next converged in 1960, when discussions about a merger were initiated by family member Paul Mellon, representing the Mellon legacy. This historic amalgamation in 1967 led to the formation of Carnegie Mellon University, a fusion that was not just an institutional merger, but also a culmination of the Mellons' long-standing support, leading to the establishment of the Mellon College of Science and the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. In the 21st century, CMU is acclaimed for its educational excellence, recently ranked number 24 among national universities in the US News and World Report and third for most innovative schools. Its international reputation is equally strong, with commendable top 30 positions in global rankings by Times Higher Education and QS World University Rankings. Thus, by the 1920s, Andrew W. Mellon's financial and culture stature had soared, making him one of America's wealthiest and influential individuals. However, in order to solidify his already prodigious financial influence, he would need to enter into a wholly different realm of power, politics. In 1921, a pivotal moment in American history unfolded as President Warren G. Harding appointed Andrew Mellon, an already legendary figure of significant wealth and influence, as the Secretary of the Treasury. This role, which Mellon held across a shocking 3 presidential administrations, catapulted him into the limelight of national affairs. Confronting a substantial federal debt, a byproduct of World War I expenditures, Mellon embarked on an ambitious strategy to reform taxation by using an, at the time, unconventional approach: lower tax rates to spur economic activity, thereby boosting tax revenue. Consequently, the Revenue Acts of 1921, 1924 and 1926 materialized Mellon's vision, resulting in a drastic reduction of the top marginal tax rate from 73% in 1922 to a mere 24% by 1929. This period witnessed the American economy's roaring ascension, marking the oft-called Roaring Twenties as an era of unprecedented growth and prosperity. However, Mellon's tenure was not without its challenges. With the onset of the Great Depression in 1929, his economic policies, once celebrated, now faced rigorous scrutiny. Critics emerged as the national debt escalated anew, and the 1930s marked another turbulent period for Andrew Mellon. With his reputation suffering following the Wall Street crash, he escaped the States to serve as ambassador to Great Britain in 1932 before returning to private business. His unwavering belief in minimal government intervention and the necessity of economic recessions to purge excesses became contentious topics during this era, and a debate that continues to this day. Meanwhile, the 1940s saw Richard King Mellon, Andrew's brother, additionally emerge as a key figure. A military man, Richard reactivated his service in 1942, overseeing Pennsylvania's selective service system and later joining the War Department in Washington, D.C. His contributions, which included establishing banks for the armed forces and promoting "This is the Army," earned him the Distinguished Service Medal, and post-war, he continued his military involvement in the Army Reserves, ultimately attaining the rank of Lieutenant General. But beyond his military endeavors, Richard King Mellon assumed a prominent role in the Mellon dynasty, particularly following Andrew Mellon's passing in 1937. King, as he became known, eerily aligned with Robert De Niro's sinister real-life character in the recent Killers of the Flower Moon film, started at the bottom of the family bank in 1920, working as a messenger and assistant cashier, and later became its president in 1933. Richard King Mellon's post-war period was also characterized by his collaborative efforts with Pittsburgh Mayor David L. Lawrence. Together, they tackled urban challenges like flooding, pollution, and blight, initiating large-scale redevelopment projects that redefined Pittsburgh. Indeed, Richard King Mellon's financial clout was instrumental in aligning these projects with new regulatory standards, reshaping the city's fabric. Additionally, Richard and his wife, Constance Prosser Mellon, adopted 4 children: Richard P. Mellon, Seward Prosser Mellon, Constance Barber Mellon, and Cassandra Mellon Milbury, all of whom continued to influence the region. Furthermore, in 1947, Richard's establishment of the Richard King Mellon Foundation marked one of the family's first significant forays into philanthropy. The foundation has awarded over 8,000 grants to more than 1,800 different organizations since its inception. However, it would be another family member, one Paul Mellon, who would live a life that would inextricably tie the name Mellon to philanthropy and art. Paul Mellon, that man who would turn the family name into a word synonymous with philanthropy and art, was born on the 11th of June 1907 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The son of Andrew W. Mellon, Paul grew up in an environment of affluence and opportunity, and his early education at the Choate School, a boarding school whose alumni list includes the likes of JFK himself, laid the foundation for Paul Mellon's academic pursuits. Thereafter, Mellon's thirst for knowledge took him to Yale University, where he earned an A.B. in 1929, followed by another degree from Cambridge University in the UK in 1931. However, in a departure from the expected career path in finance, Paul Mellon charted his own course. After briefly working at the family's legendary Mellon Bank, Paul realized his heart was set on art and culture. By 1936, Paul Mellon communicated this passion to his father, already a patron of the National Gallery of Art, and surprisingly gained his financier father's support. This led to the commencement of the gallery's construction in 1937, with Paul playing a critical role. Now, the 1950s saw Paul Mellon's unique leadership style come to the fore. Unlike his father, Andrew, known for his financial and political prowess, Paul focused on the arts, education, and the environment, supporting numerous institutions, including the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra and London's Tate Galleries, and becoming instrumental in creating the Bollingen Prize for Poetry. Furthermore, Rachel Bunny Mellon, Paul's wife, was no less influential in the cultural and artistic spheres. Born into wealth and marrying into it, Bunny was celebrated for her exquisite taste in art, design, and horticulture. For example, she famously redesigned the White House's Rose Garden at Jacqueline Kennedy's request, and also the East Garden. Her expertise in gardens was matched by her skill in interior design and art collection, working with notable decorators and amassing an impressive collection of art and porcelain. Indeed, Bunny's style was luxurious yet unassuming, reflecting her discerning eye for art, clothes, and interior design. Soon, she became an icon of mid-century style, not just through her personal choices, but through her contributions to the National Gallery of Art, where she and Paul donated over 1,000 European paintings. Furthermore, Bunny Mellon's iconic homes and gardens, spread across the United States, France, and the Caribbean, were well known as an embodiment of the Mellon family's luxurious yet unpretentious taste. Oak Spring Farm in Upperville, Virginia, a sprawling 4,000-acre property, stood out among her estates. Though the interiors of this residence, like many of her homes, remained largely private, they were reputed to be extraordinary, showcasing Mellon's confident and refined style. Another of Mellon's cherished properties was Scallop Path, a historic estate on Cape Cod. Acquired in the early 1970s, Mellon meticulously renovated the 1700s-era main house over several years, and the estate, spanning 7.5 acres and featuring a 7-bedroom main house, a guest house, and exquisitely designed gardens, was shaped by Mellon's creative vision. And in New York City, Mellon's flair for design was exemplified by her 11,000-square-foot, 14-room townhouse in the Upper East Side. This luxurious property, which later sold for $41 million, boasted a private garden and was a showcase of her impeccable taste. Simultaneously, by the 1970s, Paul Mellon had also made a significant mark in academia. His contributions and influence in this sphere highlighted the Mellons' expansive reach, extending beyond art and design to the educational realm. For example, he transformed the Paul Mellon Foundation into the Paul Mellon Centre for Studies in British Art under the Yale Centre for British Art, marking a new chapter in the study of British art, and demonstrated Paul's prudent approach to philanthropy and intellectual pursuits. Therefore, together, Paul and Bunny Mellon left a legacy rich in cultural, educational, and environmental contributions, each defining their era with a blend of discernment, generosity, and a profound love for the arts. However, as the 21st century beckoned, the Mellons, ever the adapters, would be presented with a new set of challenges with the 2008 financial crisis looming, and a family member deciding to enter into the mysterious world of cryptocurrency. In the final decade of the 20th century, the Mellon family started to engage dynamically with the burgeoning tech industry, injecting substantial investments into technology ventures. Indeed, this pivot was a strategic response to the digital revolution sweeping the financial world. First, they renamed Mellon Bank to Mellon Financial Corporation, and then quickly adapted to globalization through the formation of BNY Mellon. This newly minted financial powerhouse, born from the merge of Mellon family's bank and the Bank of New York, boasted trillions in assets under management and operations across 35 countries by 2023. And among the recent, more trailblazing torchbearers of the family's dynasty, Matthew Taylor Mellon II and Timothy Mellon stand out, each charting distinct courses while upholding the family's legacy. Matthew Taylor Mellon II, a direct descendant of both the founder of Mellon Bank, Judge Thomas Mellon, and the founder of Drexel University, Anthony Joseph Drexel, carved out a niche for himself as a billionaire businessman and entrepreneur. You see, Matthew first made his mark in the fashion industry in 1999, marrying Tamara Mellon, the co-founder of Jimmy Choo. At Jimmy Choo, he was instrumental in developing a men's line, bringing a fresh perspective to the luxury shoe brand. His entrepreneurial journey further expanded in 2000 with the launch of Harry's of London, an innovative venture that blended athletic shoe technology with the traditional aesthetic of men's dress shoes. His fashion ventures continue to evolve with Hanley Mellon, a women's ready-to-wear line co-created with then-wife Nicole Hanley in 2014, reflecting their global travel inspirations. Even more unconventionally, Matthew's interests extended beyond fashion to the burgeoning world of cryptocurrencies. He invested $2 million in CoinApex, a startup incubator focused on Bitcoin-related businesses, demonstrating his interest in the digital currency space. And he played a pivotal role in the Chamber of Digital Commerce as its honorary executive committee chairman, advocating for digital currency advancement. His subsequent investments in cryptocurrency, particularly in Ripple, resulted in a fortune estimated in the billions, highlighting his acumen in identifying and capitalizing on nascent financial trends. And Timothy Mellon, another heir to the Mellon banking fortune, took an equally divergent path, making significant strides in the railroad industry. As the main financier of Guilford Transportation Industries, formed in 1977 and named after his hometown of Guilford, Connecticut, Timothy displayed a strategic approach to business growth. In the 80s, his acquisition strategy extended to purchasing rail lines from Maine to Maryland, marking his influence in the transportation sector. However, Timothy Mellon also engaged in political financing, albeit in a less publicized manner. Despite his reclusive nature and distance from active politics, he emerged as a significant contributor in the 2020 presidential election, donating $10 million to the America First Action Super PAC, aligned with Donald Trump. Thus, the Mellons, while pursuing diverse individual interests, have consistently emphasized having an impact that extends beyond their financial endeavors, with significant contributions to the arts, education, and conservation, thus shaping aspects of American cultural and social landscapes. And now, we'd like to see you in the comments. Which old money family would you like us to cover next? We've already done deep dives on the Rockefellers, Morgans, Astors, Rothschilds, and now the Mellons. Shoot us the old money dynasty you're most curious about below, and be sure to like any comments you see featuring a family you're interested in. We look forward to seeing you there, and cheers until next time.